Hey guys, welcome to the NovaCare channel. In this video we are gonna talk about at-home pain relieving tools. So first, before starting, I'm gonna talk about which kind of pain. This video is aimed at localized pain, ideally musculoskeletal pain, meaning your knee hurts, your back hurts, your elbow hurts. Many of these cases, these are gonna be symptomatic tools, meaning they will treat pain, but they will not be the main source of treatment. This is like taking pills for a headache. This is not gonna treat any source of pain. This is just gonna help you control better the symptoms while your body heals itself. So, needless to say, it should probably be complementary to rehab programs. And also, if you just feel chronic pain or just feel pain from time to time, then these may be decent tools just to control the symptoms when you have pain. So let's get into it. The first tool we are gonna talk about is TENS. If you don't know what TENS is, don't worry, we are just gonna explain it. So TENS are these little devices which provide electrical currents, and the way they work is they generate these electrical currents that stimulate non-painful neurons, saturating the pain pathways. What does this mean? This means that these electrical currents provide information to our neurons so that they get saturated, and this means that the information pathways which go to our brain, some of them being pain pathways, they carry a lot of information due to the stimuli that is given to them by the electrical current, thus feeling lower amounts of pain. What are the advantages of TENS? They are pretty safe for at-home treatment. They also allow for active movement, which is very important for us in rehabilitation as healthcare providers, because active movement, as we will talk about later, provides long-lasting effects against pain. So TENS can be placed on top of, in this case, your neck while you perform neck exercises to allow in a painful state for active movement instead of sedentary behaviors. And there are also different modalities and programs within a single device which may accommodate better for different pathologies. What are its disadvantages? Well, the main one is its ease, or rather lack of ease of use, meaning you will probably have to read the manual or consult a healthcare professional about how it works. But to be honest, the at-home versions of these devices are pretty simple and they can probably be easily understood with its instruction manuals. And for price, it's about 40 to 50 US dollars. In this video, I'm gonna have linked a couple of Amazon affiliate links for different products you can buy. These will all have the characteristics we talked about in this video. So if you have no clue on which to buy, you will have a couple of links down below in the description. Let's talk a little bit about HIIT. So HIIT, or HIIT therapy, is way more widely known than TENS. It's the action of applying heat to a body part to relieve pain. In this case, I'm gonna recommend electric heat pads or whichever type accommodates better to your kind of pain. As you can see in the table I linked, there's different kinds of heat therapies and they all pretty much act the same way, so just use the one that feels the most comfortable or available for you. I like electric heat pads because they are pretty available and simple to use. Or you can also just use hot showers. How does heat therapy work? Well, temperature and pressure stimuli saturate pain pathways. Again, pain pathways, which are the neurons which go from our skin and muscles to our brain, carry pain information. However, there are also pathways which carry temperature and pressure information. By adding pressure and temperature stimuli, we are adding way more information that our brain has to process, which decreases the pain intensity. What are its advantages? Well, its ease of use and availability. You have probably used some of these methods before, so we are way more comfortable using them. Its disadvantages, well, it should not be used in inflammation processes. However, this does not mean they shouldn't be used in tendinopathies. As we talked in a previous video, tendinopathies shouldn't really be called tendinitis, so they can be used for patellar tendinopathy, for epicondylitis, for plantar fasciitis. I would say in those cases there is no issue. And also be careful with burns, especially with conduction applications, meaning there's direct contact with the surface of heat. And for price, in this case, talking about electric heat pads, they are around 20 to 30 US dollars. Again, you will have an affiliate link in the description. So what about ice? Should we use ice to relieve pain? Well, we talked in a previous video about the new Peace and Love protocol for soft tissue injuries. If you haven't seen it, then you can check out our ankle sprain video. Basically, the most recent research seems to indicate that ice isn't really recommended for many reasons, but the main one is that it disrupts the inflammation process, which is actually something we need for our body to properly heal. As it's extracted from the study, it says even if mostly analgesic, ice could potentially disrupt inflammation, angiogenesis, and revascularization, delay neutrophil and macrophage infiltration, as well as increase immature myofibers. This may lead to impaired tissue repair and redundant collagen synthesis. So, if we have an injury, if there is inflammation, most recommended path of action would be to just let it be and wait for inflammation decrease. And once inflammation has decreased, then we can use heat. So, I'm sorry to be the bringer of bad news, but ice will probably be less and less recommended as years go by. Of course, there will be healthcare professionals that still advocate for it, but latest research doesn't seem to be going that way. And then lastly, we are going to talk about exercise. So, how does exercise work? Well, by exercising, we release a cascade of hormones that are gonna make us feel better. So the response will be hormonal, anti-inflammatory, and psychological, among many others, but these are gonna be the main pathways decreasing pain. Hormonal because it's gonna release endorphins that decrease our levels of pain. It can also have an effect in which we are treating the pathology or treating the mechanical reason that is causing our pain, meaning if we have back pain because we just have a sedentary lifestyle, then exercising may provide benefits, may strengthen and mobilize those structures that are providing pain. Also, it provides a systemic anti-inflammatory reaction and has a great psychological response in the sense that it is related to socializing, to self-fulfillment, to goal accomplishing, all those sorts of things. What are its main advantages? Well, the main advantage is that it has long-term lasting benefits. The biggest part of physiotherapy, scientific evidence right now, always seems to point to exercise therapy. There's just something about it that provides the longest lasting changes in the way we process pain. And then about price, well, I just wrote that it's free or kinda. Yeah, it depends on which sport you like or activity you like, but for most you can practice for free. And if you like to, you can just train at home. So thank you so much for watching. I will leave you here linked a couple of videos that we mentioned, like the ankle video and the tendinopathy video. And also, as I said before, you have some Amazon affiliate links in the description. Thank you so much for watching.